is Braves Vision.
Beautiful pictures from Seattle. Atlanta Braves baseball brought to you by Truist. And on this gorgeous West Coast evening, we are ready for Game 2 between the Atlanta Braves and the Seattle Mariners at T-Mobile Park as the Braves try to even up the series here tonight. Hello again, Braves country. Back with C.J. Nikowski. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Yesterday, the Braves proved they are human. They lost a game. They were up 4-0, lost 5-4. But, C.J., they continue to hit the ball so hard. 4 homers yesterday, already 54 on the season.
Pretty amazing to see what happened in that inning. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, it turned into a loss. But this Braves offense has been hitting the long ball and doing it in a big way. 54 home runs so far this season. That is the second most in Major League Baseball. This road trip, we figured Colorado, but not so much Seattle. I said it before the game, I was completely wrong. Lots of home runs in the game yesterday, and they've been getting it from up and down the lineup. Michael Harris back in there tonight. We look forward to seeing him.
Thinking about the pitching matchup, Bryce Elder for Atlanta, George Kirby for the Seattle Mariners. What do you have on that?
I think maybe the home run brigade will go down today because we got a couple of ground ball pitchers going tonight. Bryce Elder there on the left. How about only 2 home runs allowed against the 172 batters that he has faced? And George Kirby has got one of the best ground ball rates in all of baseball. He's not a big-time strikeout guy, but he knows how to keep the baseball on the ground. So who knows what's going to happen tonight?
Who knows? Maybe the ball will be flying out of the yard. Hopefully not for Bryce Elder's sake. When we come back, speaking of the ball flying out of the yard, Matt Olson had one of those homers last night. It was the 300th of his career. Mr. 300, we shall call him tonight. And Wiley Ballard will sit down with Matt Olson when we return.
Salad.
Oh my God. CJ, look at his bat. Coming up big.
And Olson out to center field. There it is. Number 300.
I like big bats and I cannot lie. You other pitchers can't deny. When a Brave walks up to the itty-bitty plate and a big grin on their face, the bat gets swung.
A sonic boom out of the ballpark.
Michael Harris hits it deep, and Michael Harris gives the Braves the lead.
Rolling thunder out of the ballpark, and the Braves win it.
So, CJ.
Yeah.
CJ.
Yeah.
Does our team have the bats?
Hell yeah.
Time to rake it.
Crank it.
Swing it.
Bang it.
Shake those big Braves bats. Baby, we're back.
Seattle's very own Sir Mix-a-Lot welcoming us back to T-Mobile Park on a Tuesday night, a classic from the 90s, and we are now joined by another 90s classic, 32-year-old Matt Olson. And Matt, first and foremost, you hit number 300 last night. What are your emotions in that spot?
Yeah, obviously, cool milestone to, accomplish and have. Nice to get the ball back, and Julio actually threw it back over the fence once it bounced on the field, and he said sorry, he didn't realize, and I was like, dude, you couldn't have known. So I got the ball back, put it in a special place somewhere.
Well, I want to show you your first career home back from your days with the A's. And when you watch this, what are your emotions? What are your thoughts?
Man, it feels like forever ago. It's one you'll always remember. Knew it off the bat, and actually hit a second one later that game. Everybody's going to remember the first hit, first homer, but kind of cool to get it off of such a good pitcher like James Shields too, and special one.
When you think about your emotions from whether it be your first home run, your 100th, 200th, now at 300 as a guy who's been around the block a few times, does your appreciation change for those numbers, just seeing how difficult it is to compete at this level on a daily basis?
Yeah, I think the longer you play, the more you realize, it's hard to, A, stay in the big leagues and B, be successful for a long time. So you go and look at the guys who hit 600, 700 home runs. It seems pretty crazy, but I think that just speaks to the longevity of this game and those guys, and cool to have my little moment yesterday with some other names.
Before we let you go, I want to show you this one last video. This is from a girl Big Braves fan. Have you seen this already?
Yeah.
So when you watch this, I mean, what kind of goes through your mind and your heart?
Man, it kind of puts things into perspective a little bit. I did see this video. My parents, my friends sent it to me. Schwelly sent it to me, actually. I was able to get their address and send them a couple more signed things, and hopefully the girls like that too.
Well, Matt, I mean, on behalf of Braves Country, it's great to watch you perform so well on the field. It's also a lot of fun to see the impact you've had on the community as well. So thanks for your time.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right, so we've got plenty more coming up for you here on a Tuesday night in Seattle. If you're ready for a Tuesday night Triple X Throwdown, dial 1-300. Sir Hits a Lot. Matt Olson is going to be with us, and we've got plenty more baseball coming your way. Bryce Elder, Sir Pitch Mix a Lot, takes the mound for the Braves. It's Game 2 from T-Mobile Park in the Pacific Northwest.
Come to my attention.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Southeast Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. By Alpha Insurance, your winning lineup for auto, home, life, and health. And by Georgia Power. Score big savings at georgiapower.com/tips. Yeah, life's not too shabby out here, whether you're a person or whether you are that dog. I want to come back in the next life as that pup. Braves and Mariners, Game 2 from T-Mobile Park. Look at this beauty. What a night. And for the Braves, Game 37 of the season, they'll try to even the series tonight. Drake Baldwin leading it off again. So second night in a row, second time in his career. The lineup is presented by Racetrack. And Michael Harris, your eyes do not deceive you. He is in the lineup, and he is playing left field for the first time since he was in Double-A back in 2022 as the Braves try to nurse that quad back to health. On the mound, 28-year-old veteran making his 8th start of the season. It's the righty George Kirby.
A guy who's been very good for them over the course of his career. You can see the numbers so far. An even 3 ERA, 4 home runs allowed. Big-time ground ball pitcher. 57% ground ball rate for George Kirby. And he's got 7 different pitches that he uses. But a lot of those will be the 4-seam and the 2-seam fastball.
What do you got for the Ford Keys, CJ?
Well, speaking of George Kirby, he's going to come right at you. He's got a very high in-zone rate. This guy has been an elite strike thrower throughout his entire career, and we just mentioned it. Michael Harris, left of center tonight, going to be a little bit of a different feel for him. I think a couple of different reasons. It's an easier position to play. He's closer to the dugout, less running for Michael as he kind of eases his way back into the everyday defensive lineup.
How about the defense for Dan Wilson, Seattle Mariners, brought to you by our good friends at Car Shield. Arozarena, Rodriguez, and Raley. Raley had a big homer last night. So did J.P. Crawford. Those two guys had the long balls in the 6th that led the Mariners to the 5-4 come-from-behind victory to win Game 1 of the series. A lot of clouds early. Those moved out at about 3:30 this afternoon, and now 63 degrees, blue skies overhead. Picture perfect night for baseball in Seattle, Washington. And away we go as Baldwin fouls it off. Ha! I saw you posted this yesterday.
I did it after just 1 plate appearance here, but Drake Baldwin now, of course, had 4 when it was all said and done, but just the 1 in the leadoff spot. So here we go. Chasing Ricky. Who knew?
And we noted it yesterday, but if you weren't with us, Drake Baldwin, when we asked him, you ever led off a game? He said once in high school, and I think it might have been a scrimmage game. And then he steps in there yesterday and hits a solo homer in his first at bat as a leadoff hitter. There's that 4-seam fastball, CJ, and you kind of mentioned it, but that's what Kirby is going to lead with.
Yeah, it's been a good pitch for him. Just a 186 batting average against low OPS. 2 of the 4 home runs have come on that 4-seamer, but it's been a good one.
And then he drops the sweeper in there. Baldwin stays alive. And the home plate umpire tonight is Mr. Will Little, calling the balls and strikes.
And Will Little's been pretty good. For, the overall correct call percentage, kind of bottom third, but other numbers are pretty solid. He gets a little wide, top and bottom.
On the ground to the shortstop Crawford. A little high throw. Everybody's okay over there. 1 down.
And you see a fastball like that at 98 miles an hour and you think, oh, is there a lot of swing and miss? The answer is no. For George Kirby, he's actually got a below average strikeout rate, so expect a lot of contact.
He was really solid from 2022 through 2024. Last year, the numbers were okay, but they weren't as good as they have been for Kirby. He had a shoulder issue to start the year. He actually dropped his arm angle 8 degrees. He's worked it back up closer to where it was, but I think last year he wasn't his normal version of himself.
And I don't love that. I mean, ultimately, yes, you do what you got to do to try to get guys out, but lowering your arm angle is certainly going to affect your repertoire. You mentioned he's kind of back up top now, but he doesn't have his split anymore, right? I mean, that's kind of the interesting thing, is that he's gotten rid of that split and now using more of a traditional changeup, and it's worked out well for him. But the split, if you have one, is one of the best pitches in baseball.
Yeah, but he's abandoned it this year. But still a very good pitcher and an all-star a few years ago in that Seattle uniform in 2023. So a grounder to short by Baldwin. Ozzie hits it to the second baseman Young. 2 down. And keep in mind with Ozzie tonight, folks, he's riding that hit streak of 16 games, longest in his career, so he'll hope to extend that this evening. And for this guy, history last night. Homer number 300, and he's batting an even 300. How fitting for Matt Olson.
Scratch me where I itch right there. You know how much I love that.
Good interview with Matt before the game with Wiley if you missed it. Matt, he's an underappreciated superstar in the game of baseball.
Oh, he's an unassuming personality, right? I think that's part of it. He is not a me guy. He's not looking for attention. He just goes about his job every day. He's a lunch pail guy.
Yeah.
I think it's a good way to describe Matt Olson. And for those that are, what, 30 and under, they probably have no idea what a lunch pail is, but go look it up on your AI machine.
That's what you took to work back in the day, kids. Strike there at the bottom of the zone. And 5 homers in the last 8 games. So Matt Olson, 12 now on the season. He has been swinging such a hot bat.
And the same bat, right? He told us that a couple of years ago in spring training. He's been using the same exact bat model throughout his entire career. So 300 homers with the same bat. We got a break. I didn't realize it at first. The ball came back onto the field. Julio Rodriguez did not realize that that was a big moment. He threw that ball into the, I guess, kind of area there where the garden is, but they got it back, and good to know that Matt Olson has it.
Yeah, that's one you'll always remember. Harris on deck. Here's a payoff pitch. Kirby looking for a 1-2-3 first, and he's got it. The sweeper strikes out Olson and sends us to the bottom of inning number 1. Braves fans hoping that Atlanta can even the series tonight here and set up a rubber game tomorrow. 1-2-3 in the top of the first, so J.P. Crawford will lead it off. But the big news tonight, as you look at the racetrack batting order for Seattle, is that Cal Raleigh missed the last 3 games with soreness in his side. He is back. He's not catching, but he is the DH tonight, adding pop to that lineup. So a little tougher tonight for Bryce Elder.
Certainly, but again, good ballpark to pitch in, and Bryce Elder is having an unbelievable season with that 1.88 ERA. We mentioned it in the open, only 2 home runs allowed. His slider has been phenomenal. The adjustments that he's made have really paid off.
Yeah, that ERA 3rd best in the National League right now for the 6'2", 220-pound right-hander Bryce Elder.
So just like we saw yesterday, 3 traditional right-handed bats in the lineup, meaning that's 6 lefties for Bryce Elder, and that works to his advantage. He has had these backward splits, and they're pretty significant this year, but he has been excellent against lefties. They're hitting just 144.
Crawford looked like he thought about challenging that. He's frustrated, but that was a strike at the top of the zone, and he's down looking.
That is the slowest strikeout I think I've seen as far as the way this thing developed. There was the call. I think Drake Baldwin was kind of waiting. You're going to challenge it. J.P. Crawford just kind of stood there. And everybody went their separate ways.
So Crawford, who had the ultimate game-winning home run yesterday, strikes out looking, and now it is on to Cal Raleigh. So out the last 3 games, it was the right side that was giving him the issues. They did the MRI, but everything came back clean and back in the lineup tonight.
There's that cutter for Bryce Elder that he only throws to left-handed hitters. That has also been new for this year. And it's been effective. Now, usually he's trying to throw it more belt high, in off the plate, keeping guys honest. That one was down in the zone.
Bryce had thrown 5 strikes to start the game. That's the first pitch that was a ball. And now a grounder to Ozzie Albies. And he makes quick work of Cal Raleigh, 2 away. Carshield defense for the Braves. It sure looks weird seeing Michael Harrison left, but that's where he is for the first time in his big league career tonight.
He's not in trouble. Just makes a little bit more sense with the quad to take a few steps away from Michael, but he's still got the center fielder flash out there with the green sleeve and the spikes to go with it. You could probably see those from the Space Needle.
And for people who say, well, he's still got to run, yes, but not as much. There's not as much risk in left as there is in center.
That's a real thing for center fielders, and they track steps and keep an eye on guys, and they know exactly kind of what the workload will be like. It's not unusual if you're trying to lessen that for a player that you'll put him on the corner instead of having him in center field.
Late time by Julio Rodriguez. Smoked but foul. If you weren't with us last night, both teams, especially the Braves, hit the ball so hard. Very uncharacteristic for this ballpark. Different story in the first inning here tonight. And what a start for Elder. 11 pitches, and he strikes out 2.
How about this changeup, which has also been very good. The depth on this thing to get Julio Rodriguez out front. A couple of punchies early on for Bryce Elder.
Braves here begin the top of the second. Michael playing left field for the first time since May 21st, 2022. Now, he was called up to the big leagues for the first time a week later, but in that one game in left field, guys, he threw out a runner at the plate, so got the outfield assist, and also homered in his first at-bats. There's good precedent here, and it was on the second pitch of the at-bats, so guys, buckle up.
Here we go. Great,
right.
Nice setup, Wiley.
Wiley, there's a lot of pressure on this pitch. Sharp grounder, but it's scooped up by Young, and Wiley's night is over.
Way to go, Wiley.
No, good stuff, Wiley. And also for Michael, he's hitting cleanup, only the 8th time he's done that in his career, so a lot of new tonight for Harris.
And as much as the Braves are doing this and trying to take it easy on that thigh, I've talked to enough outfielders that have told me left field actually is the most difficult position in the outfield to play because of the way the ball will come off the bat. Center field is the easiest. You got to cover the most ground, but you can see the ball the best. And the big one, and we've seen it, right? Think about some of those fly balls that look like they're about to go foul and then eventually come back. That is the tricky one as you're getting close to the foul line there.
Yeah, when I was talking to this guy, Mauricio Dubon, in Coors Field at Denver about switching between left and center, he was just saying the same thing. He said you cover so much more ground in center, but the ball comes off the bat differently. As when you're in left field, you have to worry about the tail from certain hitters. So yeah, there are some differences.
Hopefully Michael's not challenged too often with that tonight.
There is the first hit and the first base runner of the ball game. Sharp single for Dubon.
And he gets to 97 miles an hour at the top of the zone here, where we talked about Mauricio Dubon, his ability to have this kind of level swing. It's the only way you get to high velocity. A nice piece of hitting for a guy who's been hugely impactful here with the Braves.
105 smoking off the bat of Dubon for a 1-out single, and now a guy who is starting to turn in the right direction. Austin Riley, a homer and a couple of hits yesterday. Austin Riley tonight is our Georgia Natural Gas Greener Life Impact player. As things started to turn around in Colorado, you compare the last 4 to the previous 10.
We wondered about him seeing 2 left-handed starters in Colorado. Great place to hit. He's had a lot of success there. Would that get him going? And the answer is yes.
And even on the non-home run swings, just many of them have looked a lot better for Riley.
And fans will probably poo-poo the idea of this, but there are such things as good foul balls. Right, there are times when you see guys on pitches and maybe fouling them straight back or slightly out front. But he's been on time for the fastball. That's been the big one.
Broken bat. 6-4-3 double play. So a single, but nothing for Atlanta at the top of the second. Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Truist. There's the Ferris wheel, Mount Rainier off in the background. Still quite a bit of snow at the top there. No snow here, thankfully, in Seattle. It is a pleasant 63 degrees. Elder back to work, and Mateo could not stop it off the bat of Naylor. And a leadoff single for the Mariners.
Up against the 4-seam fastball here, 92 miles an hour, and hit pretty firm, 104 on the way back. It took a little bit of an awkward hop there. I think that kind of fooled Mateo as the ball was fading away with high velocity behind it.
Elder has thrown 12 pitches, 11 of them strikes. There's the second ball of the game as he deals to Arozarena. An early challenge here from Drake Baldwin.
Yeah, I think he got fooled by it, unfortunately. It's a good pitch. And you're frustrated that you didn't get a strike, but I wonder if this. Oh, hey, how you doing? I thought that rolled off the plate. Maybe I'm the one who got fooled. That'll wait, Drake. Keep it up.
Good
Don't
job.
listen to me.
Good job, Drake. Yesterday was Sean Murphy making his season debut behind the dish. The Braves lost their 2 challenges in the first inning, but able to keep it there. Look at that shattered bat. On to second for 1, but Arozarena beats it out. And Austin Riley has to pick up the sequoia tree out there on the infield dirt.
If you can make a bat out of sequoia, that's kind of an interesting thought. There's that sinker again. It is looking pretty sharp here early on, and look at that thing. You know, all broken bats are not created equal. That was kind of fascinating to look at there from Randy Arozarena. Just not enough time to get it turned.
There has to be a lot of satisfaction as a pitcher.
Oh, it's the best. Oh. You need new equipment after facing me. But it's a fun one.
Raley, who hit a big 3-run homer last night, trying to surprise everybody with a bunt.
The best one, I think, and guys may feel differently, but the swing and miss that hits the batter, like the way that Elder sinker's moving tonight, you get a guy who's on top of the plate, a right-hander, that could happen, right? We get the swing and maybe it hits him in the leg. It's pretty satisfying.
And for the hitter, it adds insult to injury.
Yes.
Kind of what we expected, what CJ told you about with Kirby and Elder on the mound so far. There have been 10 outs in this game, none of them in the air. Two guys that will produce a lot of ground balls, and then you'll get a few strikeouts mixed in here and there. Arozarena goes for second. A bunt right back to the mound. Elder will take that.
I mean, you can't count that as a sack. I mean, he's running. It's late. I mean, that is trying to bunt for him. Plus, you know what? Well, as long as you're touching the line a little bit, it counts. But he's pretty close to being out of the box there. That back foot. That's a weird one.
I mean, they get Arozarena in scoring position, but in theory, that should be a gift for Elder. Here's Cole Young now. Ahead of it.
You'll take any out a team is willing to give you. Now, there is still a place for the sacrifice bunt in the game as far as I'm concerned. It's big moments. It's usually late. Is your offense struggling? Do you have a really nasty pitcher on the mound? There's times for it, but that didn't feel like one. So Elder's never pitched here, right? And so I think that's probably an interesting thing for him, because pretty consistently pitchers will tell you how much they love throwing here. And so this is now his first experience at T-Mobile Park, and so far he looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, the one start against Seattle for Bryce came in his all-star season at 23. Nasty changeup there. Cole Young 1-2. And he pitched well against the Mariners. 6 innings, a 2-run ball on May 19, 2023 back at Truist Park. Now he faces them May 5, 2026. Boy, he got him to fish. He almost swung and had it hit his back foot on the slider. 3 strikeouts through 2 innings for Bryce Elder.
Man, he looks good. How about the break on this slider? We've talked about the adjustments, and that one just nasty. Missed by a foot.
Is offering a limited time deal for fans, so the season pass is $64.99, and that's only 55 cents a game, but it ends May 10th, so you got 5 days. Get on it. This offer will not last. With Michael Harris playing in the field, Dom Smith, who had a pinch hit single last night, is back in the lineup and DHing tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure for Dom Smith, look how good he's been. The numbers have been solid. Pretty happy to see Michael back in the lineup in the field, so that does open up DH opportunities for him against right-handed pitchers.
That one will bounce foul. We've talked a little bit about Dom Smith and him wearing that mouthpiece. It's to help his breathing. He's got a deviated septum. Says he's never breathed well through his nose. So when he was in New York with the Mets, he got a CPAP machine. It helped a little bit, but he wanted to get away from it because those can get dirty and cause problems. So the last 2 years he's been using mouth tape that he buys on Amazon. And so he uses this tape that he closes his mouth with at night to force himself to breathe through his nose. And he says it's helped his muscles and helped his deviated septum. He's sleeping better. And the mouth guard also helps him breathe better. But unfortunately, it does not help him against a George Kirby sweeper.
Don't give Megan any ideas. The mouth tape sounds like something she would love to get a whole day. You're not breathing right. Put this tape over your mouth. You also can't talk when you have it.
But I had never heard of this. I guess it's becoming trendy.
At one point, I remember it being referred to as hostage tape, which is a little awkward, but yes, it's a thing.
Probably doesn't sell as well on Amazon as hostage tape. But I was listening to Seth Meyers and Amy Poehler on a podcast the other day. They're using it, so maybe Dom Smith's a trendsetter. Yaz softly to shallow left, and a running catch by Randy Arozarena. Hey, the 3rd inning tonight is brought to you by Audi. '30th pitch of the game for Kirby, so he's making quick work first time through the order. And he gets a first pitch bouncer to short. Mateo is out by a step, and just like that, the Braves are done in the top of the 3rd. Experience the all-new Audi Q3 at your local Atlanta area Audi dealer today. Pike Place Market, been open since 1907 out here, and one of my favorite memories in the first 4 years of doing this, CJ, is a couple of years ago when Wiley and Marcelo Ozuna went over there, and they had him throwing and catching salmon in the market.
Yeah, so what I didn't realize, and Ben Ingram told me he had done this as well. I've been to Seattle lots of times over the years, especially after spending 7 years in the American League West. And part of the gimmick is that when you buy a fish, then they throw it to you, catch it, and then they'll ship it to you. So Ben said he had done it. Like, he went through the whole thing, and he's like, yeah, you know, it was touristy, it was fun. But he's like, it wasn't, you know, was good, but it wasn't like the greatest salmon I've ever had or anything like that. So it's a kind of a one-timer. If you're here, do it. Check your hands, see if you can catch a fish.
Yeah, it's
the Big
cool.
Bear was all about it. I mean, he's a natural, clearly.
And he was wearing his yellow arm sleeve when he did it. One-two fouled off by Garver.
The thing that might be, let's say, underreported on or underrated are the flowers over there. I've made this trip in the past with my family, and my wife has always just been blown away at the flower shops, how beautiful they are, how inexpensive they are to get some pretty amazing flowers.
Did you put some in your hotel room for the 3-day stay?
I thought about bringing you some today, but I just couldn't come up with a good reason. There they all are.
Look at that. Right on cue. It's our guy Sean Farnham.
He deserves flowers for sure.
He does.
By the way, don't forget Mother's Day this weekend.
Ah, yes. Good reminder. Sunday, everybody. Full count. Up and in. So Bryce Elder with a walk to start the bottom of the third. Ninth batter in the order, Leo Rivas. Struck out 3 times yesterday and also got hit by a pitch.
I wonder, based on what we saw with Luke Raley, if this ends up being kind of a bunt situation. 9-hole hitter. Bryce Elder's great against lefties.
Keeps the bat back.
They haven't done it very much here, but again, it was just kind of an odd thing to see there with Raley, especially with 1 out. Look at the numbers for Rivas, kind of a glove guy first, getting a little bit more opportunity with Brendan Donovan being down.
Donovan starting his rehab assignment tonight, so he'll be back in short order for the Mariners. Swinging at the 204 seamer.
The other thing they have there over at the market is the original Starbucks, right? That is there. And I don't know, it's fine. But there's always a monster line over there. You can get coffee anywhere around here.
It's just, you know, say you did it. Close.
Good restraint, I think, there from Drake Baldwin. Probably not one you want to burn to the 9-hole hitter.
Hitters count. 3-1 lifted high into the air. Yastrzemski out in right tonight. A message right here from Chevrolet.
Get into a 2026 Chevy Trax, starting at $23,495. Proud partner of the Atlanta Braves.
So that first Starbucks opened back in 1971. And then we didn't really know about Starbucks until late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, you started seeing some stores. I was actually reading a story the other day about this. When the now owner took over, it was like 150 stores. He got it up to 600, and I think it's like 38,000 worldwide.
It's crazy. It's like on every corner, everywhere you go. Yeah, over 40,000 now. They're unbelievable.
We try to, especially as we work our way around different cities around the league, really try to find the unique ones if you can. There's so many coffee shops in every major city that we go to. Those little mom and pop stores are kind of fun. A little scone, maybe. Lemon blueberry.
2-1 here to Crawford. Yeah, as a non-coffee guy, I love the smell of coffee, so I like to go in, get a blueberry scone, get a mint tea or something.
Nice.
Just read my paper with my legs crossed. Everybody leave me alone. This ball is not coming back. Crawford hit one yesterday. He's got another one in game 2 of the series, and it's 2-0 Seattle.
four-seam fastball here from Bryce Elder, 93, and just kind of middle, maybe inner third. They're trying to go away. That's the straight one. A little surprised we didn't see the two-seamer with all the great action. A nice play out there by that fan.
I think he had his coffee before he came to the park tonight. So Crawford, two-run homer yesterday in the 6th inning off Tyler Kinley that ultimately won the game for Seattle, and now he gets him on the board here in the 3rd, game 2 of the series.
It's a trend that I've seen in the game that I'm very curious about. I need to ask Jeremy Hefner about it, and I think we've talked about this before, but Bryce Elder is one of these guys where it's the two-seam fastball is used way more to righties than it is to lefties. For the longest time, it was a pitch you'd run away from your opposite-handed hitter, and he only throws it 9% of the time to lefties, which would be that opposite-handed hitter, 53% of the time to righties. So he's only really using it mostly just to try to run it in to righties and not away from lefties.
Cutter that time that Raleigh fouls off.
I just feel like I look at those two pitches and I think they pair so well together. Cutter in, two-seamer away, but it's not just Bryce Elder. Look around the league in different pitchers that we face. You just don't see this two-seam fastball used to run away as much as we once did.
Was there a time when you noticed that shift, or last 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, I would say probably the last 3 or 4 in particular, where I was like, okay, this guy's got a good sinker. Because we went through a period where pitching coaches in the industry was saying two-seamer is not a good pitch really at all. And then it's kind of started making its way back, but it's used differently than it was, say, go to power sinker guys like Kevin Brown, Craig Maddox, obviously one of the best ones we've ever seen.
Nice slider, and Cal Raleigh is down on strikes. Fourth strikeout for Bryce Elder so far tonight, after only giving up his 3rd home run of the season on that swing by Crawford. Rodriguez pretty deep out to left, but Harris will trot over to take it, and that'll do it in the 3rd. The Crawford homer puts Seattle on top. Raleigh, if you missed it, watch this thing. It bounced off the mask of Will Little and up and over the net and about 8 rows deep.
And watch the barehanded play by the fan. You have to. That is some height. Look how high that net is. Never see it again.
I feel like every week we say, oh, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
I have never seen that happen.
It's a great part of our game.
Yeah.
It does happen quite a bit.
Top of the order. Kirby's faced the minimum through 3. Did give up the single to Dubon in the 2nd, but then he was erased on a 6-4-3 double play. Two and one here to Drake Baldwin, who grounded out in the 1st to start the game. George Kirby looking for his 3rd strikeout tonight. Native of Rye, New York, just 25 miles away from Yankee Stadium. Grew up a die-hard Yankees fan. Ended up going to Elon College in North Carolina, where he had a great career. And then drafted 20th overall by the Mariners in 2019. And he induces a fly ball here to left off the bat of Baldwin for the 1st out in the 4th. So with Ozzie coming up, let's take a look at our Liberty Mutual Insurance field coverage feature tonight. And some of the numbers from a great start to the season for Ozzie Albies through 36 games. See, we built in the suspense.
Bum, bum, bum. But you love to see it, right? The power's back. Clearly he's feeling strong. Less swing and miss in his game as he does that. Bad producing on our part. He didn't strike out. He just swung and missed.
And that 16-game hit streak, as I mentioned, a new career best for Ozzie. But one of 2 players with 8 or more homers and less than 20 strikeouts. The only other one, Yordan Alvarez, over in the American League. And the hit streak is extended. 17 games now for Ozzie Albies.
Take him any way you can get him. A little backdoor breaking ball here, and good job by Ozzie. Stay on it. Go right back up the box. He's been locked in.
So a 1-out single, and that will bring up Matt Olson. Ground ball, and that gets through. Ozzie is going to head for third. The throw from Raley will allow Matt Olson to go to second base. A break for the Braves, and now 2 in scoring position.
Well, bad fundamentals here in a couple of spots for the Seattle Mariners. First, you're going to see Matt Olson do a nice job, get this ground ball through the right side, and does it against the George Kirby sweeper mislocation. They're trying to go backdoor. But then for Luke Raley, especially with this ball not being hit hard, not being hit at you, to try to throw Ozzie out is a mistake. Great read by Matt Olson. And then also, George Kirby's pretty lucky that throw didn't get away. You can see him in your picture. That is not where he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be backing up that throw. That could have got real ugly real fast.
So the Braves with a nice opportunity here with 1 down, runners at second and third. Michael Harris to the plate. Grounder. Ozzie started to go and stopped, and Naylor gets the out at first base. One more step and Ozzie would have been in trouble.
Yeah, and there was an opportunity for Naylor if he wanted to throw this ball to second base. Matt Olson was in a bad spot, so he plays it conservatively, and that works out better for the Braves. They now have still 2 in scoring position.
George Kirby inducing a lot of balls on the ground, as he is known to do. There's another one on the ground. It's fair. Dubon shoots it right down the line. We are tied. A 2 RBI double for the Braves center fielder.
Now you remember the big triple that he had in Colorado. Not nearly as hard, but a similar approach here, right? You don't see much of a leg kick. He's got all kinds of room on the right side. He takes full advantage of it. Four-seam fastball at 97, nobody home. The way that they were playing Mauricio Dubon, that is just a really nice, unselfish team at bat. He continues to get it done.
Huge hit for Dubon, and we are back to level. And now Riley. 5 straight Braves here have swung at the first pitch in the 4th inning, so they're coming up aggressive.
Well, it goes back to what we talked about, that end zone rate here with George Kirby. He is an elite strike thrower, always has been, and even when things go sideways, if anything, he becomes more so. He's been known as a guy that when it gets a little bit rattled like this, he continues to go right at you, sometimes starts to think a little bit too much of the middle of the plate. That's when he can get himself in trouble.
There was a game back in August of 22 where he had 24 consecutive strikes to start a game. Major League Baseball record in the pitch track era for Kirby. So he fills up the zone. As we say that, he buries a sweeper in the dirt.
There is such a thing as throwing too many strikes. And again, I think when he gets in trouble, and talking to some folks around here that have seen him for a long time, that is kind of the one thing. And Listen, you'd rather have it that way than the other way, but look at this ratio here tonight. I like seeing that. 11, 33, 44, 22 with the 2-2. I might just take it to the house right now. Can't get any better than that.
Yeah, Riley, that found his barrel. And you had a pregame slice from the Ballard Pizza Company here at T-Mobile Park. So a lot of good things for you tonight, CJ.
Yeah, the Wiley Ballard Pizza Company here, and I've had this pizza before. It's $13 a slice, 13 and change.
Oof. You get a whole pie for that.
Wiley's crushing it. I don't know what kind of royalties he's getting.
Well, that's how he became the crypto king. Riley waves at the sweeper to end the fourth, but Dubon with a clutch hit to even things up here in the Pacific Northwest.
Phenomenal start in 2026. Let's take a look at our John Foy, the strong arm. And I think this is an important note here. You see the last 2 seasons, only about a third of Bryce's starts came on regular rest. That would be once every 5 days, right? Well, that rate has nearly doubled this year, and the ERA with it has gone way down. Now, it's a little bit of a chicken or the egg thing, right? And Bryce was talking about how, well, he's always wanted to get 5 days. He just hasn't pitched well enough to earn that. But Walt Weiss mentioned it today. He's become a priority in the rotation. They're trying to accommodate him now instead of the other way around.
Yeah, which is an amazing storyline when you think about where we were before we got to spring training and thinking about, man, how is Bryce Elder going to fit into this roster? He's out of options. Will he be in the bullpen? Would he potentially be traded? And now he is the guy that has become a priority arm that you're almost working your rotation around, which is a great story for Bryce Elder.
And the numbers so far look a lot like 2023. In fact, at this stage, even a little better. 2023, the year that he was an All-Star, and the All-Star game that year was here in Seattle. So Bryce was in this park. He did not pitch in that game. That's the year that the Braves sent a franchise record 8 to the All-Star game. Bryce was one of them.
A little flinch back there from Will Little. Looked like he wanted to call out a strike.
Naylor singled in the second.
It's nice to see, right? You don't hear about, I don't know if any pitchers you hear about these days that it's like, man, we got to keep this guy in 5 days rest. It's when he's most effective. It seems like it's been the opposite. And you get more rest for some guys.
Yeah, Bryce, a bit of a throwback in that regard. He does lose Josh Naylor here to start the bottom of the fourth. So that's the third straight inning that Seattle has had the leadoff man on. Randy Arozarena was an All-Star last year with Seattle. He takes a huge hack there at the two-seamer. Very beloved in Tampa was Randy Arozarena. Had some heroics in 2020 in the postseason. 2021 AL Rookie of the Year. And yes, I said that correctly. He was still a rookie in 21 after having a good 20 postseason. COVID kind of made everything a little strange back then.
It certainly did. And Randy Arozarena is set to be a free agent at the end of the year. So this is a big season for him.
31 years old, native of Cuba. And he's down on strikes. Elder went to the top shelf to get it.
It's an interesting way for Bryce Elder to get this strikeout after that first sinker. And then all of a sudden now kind of working the corners there a little bit and elevating a fastball to finish him off. That was a fun one. Sinker, slider, straight heater. 1, 2, 3.
Raley tried to lay a bunt down last time. And they did give him a sacrifice.
No way. The only people that should get sacrifices with 1 out are pitchers, and they don't hit anymore. He was clearly trying to bunt for a hit. He squared late.
No question.
Runner was on the move. He's lucky he didn't pop it up.
He was trying to get it down the third baseline. He knocked it right back to Elder. Runner goes for second. Tag applied, but Naylor got in there. He is in some pain.
I'm not sure if he jammed a hand here. We'll see. It's a very casual lead and then takes off. He's got the oven mitt on. Let's see what this slide looks like and where the problem may have been. Nothing necessarily there from Mateo. Yeah, I mean, it is the hand that has the oven mitt, but it looks like he's wearing it kind of loosely.
He reached for his midsection. It was a really hard flop on the dirt. There were a couple of smiles there that leads you to believe that this might be a below the belt issue.
That uniform has got a ton of dirt on it.
It does.
By the way, also look at his hand. Now, I know eventually it came off, but he barely had that oven mitt on, which is something we've talked about in the past. The fact that you can see his hand there, now he's going to be safe anyway, but he does that because he's getting 3 or 4 more inches on his oven mitt, something that Major League Baseball is really needed to address, and they haven't.
Yeah, I think we're figuring out what happened there to our buddy Josh Naylor. That is a record amount of dirt, though, on the front of a jersey after a headfirst slide.
So he hit hard, but you can see it there in the background. They keep the infield here in Seattle pretty wet. So that means more mud, and his uniform just got heavier.
His belt's all messed up. They figured something out with Josh Naylor. You look at him, you don't think he's a base stealer. He came here last year. Into last year, he had not stolen many bases, and out of nowhere he steals 30, 19 after the deadline when he put on that Seattle uniform, and now he's got 5 this season.
You saw the lead right. There's a casualness to it for Josh Naylor because of his history. Now kind of word is out that he can steal bases, but prior to that, really a guy you would not pay that much attention to. He seems like he just picks his spots when he thinks he's got a chance. Elder had already thrown over twice. So he liked his chances of getting a decent lead, but he didn't even take full advantage of it.
Two game, 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Luke Raley, the right fielder. Elder payoff pitch. He got him. 6 strikeouts for Bryce Elder already tonight here in Seattle.
How about this changeup here from Bryce Elder? My goodness, the movement on it and where it finished. Almost looked like he had a finger up there a little bit, kind of, let's say, kick change, but definitely a different grip. But look at the movement. My goodness, wow. That thing moved like it was a split.
That hit the home plate umpire Will Little and probably saved Naylor going to third base.
Have a night, Will Little. A couple times here, right? We showed you that replay, the one that caught him in the mask and ended up in the stands. This is the breaking ball slider that Drake Baldwin is doing his best to get to. It's amazing that it got past him the way he did, and then it caught Will Little right on the bicep.
Huh.
A little swelling couldn't hurt in that spot, right? Always make you look a little better in the gym.
That's right.
Oh.
Might not be able to do bicep curls for a couple of days, though, for Will Little.
That ball went right under Drake's arm, and there was one little kind of hole there where it could get through, and it did.
Will Little, 42 years old. He got started in this business 14 years ago, so he's been around a long time. Worked his first World Series last year. He was the home plate ump in Game 1 for Toronto and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Cutter there. 1-1 to Cole Young. No, according to Lance Barksdale, who worked home plate last night. Mitch Garver on deck. He's got more pop in his bat than this guy Cole Young, more of a contact hitter at the plate. But he's going to walk down to first. 2 on, 2 out.
As we watch this Bryce Elder changeup here tonight, kind of wondering, was he getting a little bit more run than he usually does? The answer is yes, by about 2 inches on the horizontal side. Now, this is the cutter that ultimately results in the walk, but changeup tonight is moving like crazy.
Now that last one that we showed, the way that darted out of the zone to the right, really impressive.
Yeah, the drop is up by about 3 inches compared to his season average. 2 inches on the run, which is the left to right on your screen there. It's dancing like Wiley Ballard.
Nobody dances like Ballard. Now Mitch Garver, the batter. Two walks this inning, 3 on the game. That matches the season high for Elder. Might have a play at second. Naylor was way off the base, but Ozzie had to scramble over and was too late.
You get a little more dirt on that uniform. You keep this up, you're not going to be able to see Mariners at all on this jersey.
We need some major OxyClean in that clubhouse. OxyClean is still a thing, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Those
but
infomercials
what they use to
at
clean
night.
uniforms is a little bit more intricate. Believe it or not, I've seen it. It's kind of like a multi-detergent process. The best way, though, what I learned all the years with the boys, it took me a long time to figure this out, power washer.
Huh.
Just lay it on the driveway if you have a power washer. If not, stop at a car wash on the way home after the game and just use that power washer. Best way to do it.
Swing and a miss. Elder works around 2 walks. He strikes out 3 in the 4th.
And here's this nasty sinker right on right. Watch it run right past the bat of Mitch Garver.
Like this Toyota Trends feature, players with 15 or more RBI. Braves 7, most in baseball, and the team with the least, the New York Mets.
Yeah, just one, and obviously they have had a real rough go of it. They had an off day today because of the weather that is going on right now in Denver, and that game got pushed back a couple of days. They'll play again tomorrow, but this is really more about the depth of the Atlanta Braves and how many players have contributed in big ways.
And it is the former Met, Dom Smith, that leads off here in the 5th. He spent 6 seasons in the Big Apple, also one with the Nationals, so a guy that knows the NL East very well. Number 11 pick by the Mets back in 2013. If you heard me talking earlier about how he's using the mouth tape, and you're wondering, well, why does that mouth guard help him breathe? He says it helps him relax his jaw and reminds himself to take air through his nose. And often you'll see him step out after a foul ball, take a couple of deep breaths through his nose to kind of refocus and regather himself. Out towards the track in left center, and Rodriguez makes the catch.
It's good advice for everybody, right? Take a step back, couple of deep breaths through your nose, and get reset.
The reason I was talking to him about, well, first Joe Simpson told me the story, so I was clarifying it with Dom Smith and getting a little more information on it. But I also was just selfishly finding out, because I have a deviated septum and I can't breathe through my nose.
Yeah.
But the thought of putting that mouth tape on freaks me out, because I'm afraid I'm going to wake up at 3 a.m. gasping for air.
Consult your professionals first. Check in with your doctor and see if that's okay.
Has Megan chimed in? Has she already bought your mouth tape?
No, she is. They're out tonight with Luke, his girlfriend's lacrosse game, so I got blown off.
Okay. Well, you've been there before.
Well, it should be over. It's almost 11 o'clock at home.
Yeah. So maybe she's just
celebrating Cinco de Mayo.
There you go. Maybe she's out having a margarita. And Mike Yastrzemski back up the box. 1-out single. He's starting to swing the bat a lot better, CJ.
Yeah, and it's something we talked about, that it would be a great time. Not that we get to pick when guys struggle and when guys are hot, but with Ronald Acuna Jr. down, we've seen some good swings here from Yaz lately, and the timing could not be more perfect.
Yaz was about ready to take off for second base until Kirby turned around.
Certainly want to be careful and pick your spots. You got two things working for you. I want to take a look at this though real quick. That is the batter's eye that they have here at T-Mobile Park, and a little bit difficult to tell on camera compared to what we see in person. It is the darkest one in baseball, unofficial, but we've been around all these ballparks to have a pretty good idea. And part of that is, as we've talked about this being such a great pitcher's ballpark, look at the last few years, lowest runs per game, lowest ERA. Look at the splits for the Mariners hitters, road, home, big deal. They talked about having a little bit of a tough time seeing the baseball. And so they made that batter's eye even darker. I asked Mauricio Dubon about it because he's played in this ballpark a pretty good amount all his years in the American League West with the Astros. And he had said, yeah, it's not bad now. He said during the day it could be a little bit tricky. There was a glare, especially when you have the roof open. But now that they've gotten it that dark, it's much easier to see the baseball.
And it's Dubon who tied the game in the fourth with his 2 RBI double after the Crawford homer in the third.
And most of them are dark green. Right where we are. I can't imagine. I don't know if there's any other place where it's black.
And even if it is, it's not filled in like that. It's, yeah, I'm officially with you on your unofficial ranking.
Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Mateo was hoping for a ball there for a walk. Instead, 3-2. That was in the zone. George Kirby, 3 strikeouts tonight. Check over on Yaz.
Now, the idea with Mike Yastrzemski and potentially getting him in motion is because Kirby is such a great ground ball pitcher. It's not just about trying to steal a base, but also about trying to stay out of a double play.
Now plateward. Mateo off the end of the bat to shallow center field for the second out. Back to the top of the order, and Drake Baldwin.
So the best that I could find is that the Atlanta Braves have never had a catcher lead off in a game. I can only look back to 1974.
So some history tonight for Drake
some history,
Baldwin.
yeah. 2 nights. Oh yeah, because yesterday was a DH. So as a catcher, not primarily a catcher, but as a catcher. Oh,
a challenge.
It's way late compared to some other things that we've seen. Drake's having some fun.
Pitches the ball. Seattle has 1.
Mitch Garver's been good. That's only his second miss. He came in at 10 for 11. Make it now 10 for 12. That's fun when it's catcher though, right? A little trash talk.
You saw Drake say no, that was a ball. So Seattle's down to 1. Braves still have 2. Yeah, and I'm surprised he challenged her. I guess you got both. It's 5th inning, got a good hitter up 2 outs, but a little surprised at that.
I wonder if there's been a hitter yet on a pitch that's a ball. They know it's a ball, and then they say to the catcher, challenge. Just challenge that.
Gamesmanship.
Yeah. Mitch Garver, I think I told you this before, but his years in Texas, he's a good coffee recommendation guy. I know that's really not up your alley, but he knows every spot around the league.
Well, then he probably loves it here in Seattle. Garver in his 3rd year here after winning that World Series title with the Rangers. Deuces all over the board. 2-2 game, 2 outs, 2-2 count. Yaz takes off. Ground ball towards short. Crawford redirects. Makes the play. Halfway home. Game 2 of the series at T-Mobile Park. Missing and Murdered Indigenous People Awareness Day. We are proud to collaborate with the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians to bring awareness to this year's initiative. The Atlanta Braves partnered with the EBCI to create bracelets to honor the lives of missing and murdered Indigenous people, and the bracelets carry a message of awareness, remembrance, and protection. And we do that today on May 5th. Welcome back to T-Mobile Park. Brandon Gaudin, C.J. Nitkowski, Wiley Ballard with you in a 2-2 ball game. Mariners got a 2-run homer from Crawford in the 3rd. The Braves came back with a Dubon 2 RBI double in the 4th.
It's been a well-pitched game. This has been a fun one. We had a tight one yesterday. It was that big, 6th inning where we saw all the runs across the board, 8 of them. We knew we were in for a pretty good matchup. A couple of strike throwers will quickly fill up the zone, and it has not disappointed so far.
Yesterday, all 9 runs in the game between the two teams came via the homer. The Braves 4 solo shots, and the Mariners had a 3-run blast and a 2-run bomb. Rivas is 0 for 2. Quick message from Zaxby's.
Zaxby's giant chicken finger quesadillas. Get them while you can. Who's got the sauce?
CJ, though, when you think about the AL West and the Mariners, and again, we talked yesterday about how this was a very anticipated season for them. They started 4-9, lost a lot of 1-run games. With a win yesterday, they're 17-19, and looking up at the A's. Bouncer, Ozzie with a backhand and a nice play to get Crawford. But I get the sense that this is still a very good team, very capable, and see them as the favorites in the West?
I think so. They probably should be. They certainly have the pitching for it. It is unbelievable to see them coming into this one 2 games under 500, 17-19, and only a game and a half out of first place. It is hard to pull off, but things have been very light early on here in the American League West. We'll see about the Texas Rangers. They're 3 games under. They have some good pitching. The Astros have struggled. They've been able to hit in a big way. They just have not been able to pitch. And the Angels struggling as well. So it is wide open, and they probably should be the heavy favorites. But it's been a little bit of a slow start.
Of course, winning the AL West last year, getting close to that first World Series, but ultimately bowing out to the Blue Jays in 7 games.
That's a gap right there.
Yes. And they had that, we talked about it yesterday, that longest active drought not reaching the playoffs in the 4 major North American sports from 01 till 2022. So they were thirsty for a winner out here. And this guy was so good for them last year. Second in the MVP voting to Aaron Judge. 60 homers last year for Cal Raleigh. Swing and a miss. 4-seam fastball gets him 8 strikeouts for Elder, matching a season high. On to the 6-2-2 game. Wiley Ballard is ready down there for our Kia Field Report.
And so is Ozzie Albies, Brandon. He'll bat from the left side against the righty Kirby. And take a look at how right-handed pitchers have attacked the Braves second baseman, throwing far fewer fastballs than Ozzie has seen. In fact, that 46% is the lowest of any season against right-handed pitching for Ozzie in his 10 years now in the major leagues. And I asked Ozzie, if you noticed that, why do you think that is? He says, well, I'm crushing the fastballs. They don't want to throw me at it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, right? You keep an eye on trends for players, and when you're sitting in a meeting, and right now if you're sitting here game planning the Atlanta Braves, Matt Olson, Drake Baldwin, and Ozzie Albies are conversations you're having about the fastball and the damage that they're doing on it. Certainly Dom Smith has done it as well. There's little things you look for. How's the guy in 2 strikes? When's he trying to go the other way? But talking about the fastball in particular is a big one. And when you know the guys are hitting it well, you stay away from it. You just don't want to give in. Doesn't mean you don't use it at all. But like we saw with Bryce Elder to Cal Raleigh there, go ahead and elevate it, get it out of the zone. Maybe you get some chase with 2 strikes.
Ozzie has been hitting everything during this 17-game hit streak that he extended with a single in the 4th. He's lifted his batting average during these 17 games from 269 all the way up over 330, which is now good for 4th best in the National League. Three-two.
I hope it's not a fireworks night here tonight. It is daylight out, and we're in the 6th innings game. These guys are pitching like they got dinner reservations.
Ozzie challenges this.
The batter is challenging the pitch.
I will tell you that with ABS, if it was at the front of the plate, I think he would have more of a chance. So just barely close. That's a sweeper. And remember, where they measure this is middle of the plate. So move it up, what is it, 8.5 inches, right? That's probably a ball. And that's where Ozzie and guys will get a little bit confused because they're so used to thinking about the front of the plate. And he saw that out of the zone at a point that it actually may have been out of the zone.
That's a good reminder. So Ozzie down looking. Now Matt Olson. 4 strikeouts for Kirby tonight. Yeah, you're right. Both these guys pitching quickly. They both do that, especially Bryce Elder. Bryce last inning just 9 pitches. And he already has 8 strikeouts to Zelder, matching his season high. Let's take a look at our Whataburger What a Play as Matt gets ahead here 3-0. So last 162 games, his ranks among active first basemen, that's pretty good.
I mean, just go ahead and call it right now. It's been the best first baseman in baseball over the last 162.
And he posts every single day.
Somehow I did see someone tagged me in a post today. They were pretty upset. I don't know how long MLB's been doing this, if it's new, but it's like the team of the month. There wasn't a single Brave on there, despite the fact that they've been one of the best teams in baseball. Braves country not happy. We'll just take the wins.
Yeah, use it as motivation. 1-out walk for Matt. Yeah, it's hard to believe you've got, Baldwin and Ozzie Albies leading the majors in hits, Matt leading the majors in extra base hits, and somebody wouldn't be on that list. Couple of groundouts to the right side so far tonight for Harris. And he hasn't really had to do much running out in left field, which is good news for that quad. Center field, pretty well struck. Rodriguez will set up camp on the warning track.
They're just all so loud off the bat of Michael Harris. Even what ends up being a somewhat routine fly out to center. He knows how to find the barrel.
A couple of days ago in Denver, that's probably over the wall for a 2-run homer, but not here in Seattle. Now Dubon 2 for 2, that 2 RBI double that tied the game in the 4th. '78th pitch of the night for Kirby. And Dubon bounces it to Rivas. That'll do it in the top of the 6th. The walk, but nothing else. We're still all even. What did Bertie say? Thinks we have the best what?
Well, I couldn't hear that. I thought I heard him say something about the bullpen, but we couldn't hear the tail end of it.
Whatever it was, it's always entertaining with those two.
Was he no socks on purpose? Was he trying to do like a Nick Green impression?
Hey, he's stylish. Nothing like the 1892 get-ups they had on last night back there in Atlanta. Well, a 2-2 ball game here. Kirby and Elder have both pitched well. 8 strikeouts for Bryce Elder, and now he faces Rodriguez to start the bottom of the 6th.
It's been fun to watch this version of Bryce Elder. Listen, he's always known how to pitch, but the tweaks to the repertoire, the way that he has his pitches moving, how great his slider has been this year.
Four-seam fastball, and this one is lifted towards Olsen. Just in front of the camera well. Comcast Business defensive edge. All right, CJ, take us through it.
Efficiency is what we're getting from Bryce Elder. These are your top 5 pitchers in Major League Baseball when it comes to pitches per inning. And there is Bryce Elder, third in baseball. You got a couple of Mariners here in Wu and George Kirby, of course, who is pitching here tonight. But just phenomenal, right? It's not just that there's been tweaks made and the repertoire is in a good place, but he knows how to get outs early, which has allowed him to get deeper in games. Every manager in baseball would love to have a couple of pitchers on that leaderboard. Takes away a lot of the stress and again gives you that opportunity. Only one time this year has Bryce Elder not gone 5 innings. He went 4 2/3.
And you see he got in a little trouble there in the 3rd and the 4th, but 9 pitches in the 5th and 1 out and counting here in the 6th. Well, fielders love to play behind that pitcher, right?
Well, guys that are certainly throwing a lot of strikes and keeping everybody sharp. And when you are a ground ball pitcher like both of these guys are, you want to make sure that you're keeping your infielders engaged.
That might have missed, but no challenge from Naylor. CJ's going to power wash Josh Naylor's jersey after the game. Make sure it's nice and clean.
It's the easiest way to do it. Again, I found that way too late in my boys' amateur baseball careers as a solution. It's a good time. Let me just blast that thing. Watch the dirt go away.
Swing and a miss. New season high. 9 strikeouts for Elder.
His changeup is really acting like a split when you talk about the depth of movement that you are getting here from Bryce Elder. That is not your grandfather's straight change. Look at that thing just disappear.
17 swing and misses to go along with the 9 strikeouts. And now here's a Rosarena.
I don't know if your grandfather had a straight change. I'm not even sure where that came from, but
no, I like it. Yeah, it's all been impressive. He made that one mistake to Crawford that he didn't get back with that fastball he left over the heart of the plate.
That fun report that Wiley did on Bryce Elder, the conversation that he had with Greg Maddux, it was a couple of years ago, right, when they were getting things figured out and talking repertoire, and Mad Dog kind of gave him a little bit of a hard time about talking about a swing and miss pitch. And oh, you're a strikeout pitcher? I feel like Bryce Elder's flexing a little bit once in a while. I was like, I am now.
Getting a lot of them tonight.
And it was, what, 12 strikeouts last year in San Francisco, that unbelievable game that he had. Twice that he has been 10 or more in his career. We joke about it. He's a really good pitcher. Strikeouts not necessarily the name of the game, but that efficiency and getting weak contact early in counts, again, which has allowed him to get deeper in games, which is, you'll take that all day long over strikeouts.
Yeah, the other time he had double-digit Ks back in 22 in Miami, he had 10. And he's trying to get to that number here against Arozarena.
About throwing that changeup to that side of the plate, right? So we just threw the two-seamer there off the plate. You get chase from Randy Arozarena. He very likely would chase that changeup over there if he's confident throwing it to that side of the plate. You could also use that slider, maybe elevate the four-seamer, just get it up out of the zone if you do.
Up and in.
All right, slider in the zone now for me after that one, right? You stand him up a little bit. He was trying to go over the plate and get chase.
Bouncer on the two-seamer, that'll do as well. Matt Olson taps the bag, and Elder is through 6. Hey, next Wednesday, first 15,000 fans going to receive a Michael Harris 2 and cash bobblehead presented by Boehringer Ingelheim, featuring his adorable Golden Doodle Cash. Braves.com/promos. That's what it looks like on the screen. This is what it looks like in person.
Here's our front hamster we got from a fan, which was really cool to see. Don't forget to get your Ballard Pizza from the Ballard Pizza Company here at T-Mobile Park. Only $13.50 a slice. Unbelievable.
That's how Ballard's lining his pockets. We got a lot of props up here.
There's a lot going on.
We got the foul ball we caught at Coors Field.
We got all of our hats that are still here. Tell the hamster story as far as the fan that gave that to you.
Yeah, a very, very nice couple who was originally from Alabama, huge Braves fans. They moved out here to Seattle, and so they love Braves baseball. They watch Braves Vision every night. And they heard the story about my hamster Chopper passing away, and they got on Amazon and got that as a commemorative gift for Chopper.
And they have Georgia on here with a little heart, and I just broke it, so I'm sorry. It fell out. We'll get it fixed.
They were wonderful. Really enjoyed talking to them, and so kind, and they were so excited to present that to the booth in Chopper's honor.
Let's go, Rally Hamster. It's time. It didn't work yesterday. Go away.
Bouncer to Rivas. Oh, he almost did. You almost spoke it into existence. There have been no errors on either side tonight.
And none last night. Been a very clean game here, series so far defensively with these two teams.
Well, who's going to flinch first, George Kirby or Bryce Elder? I mean, they've each given up 2 runs, but both have been pretty masterful. In fact, Elder's only given up 2 hits to go along with his 9 strikeouts tonight. High, lazy fly. Dom Smith 0 for 3. Stretch coming up. You get more of Birdie and Peter Moylan, and it'll be brought to you by Georgia Natural Gas.
Birdie's doing a nice job. Is this his first time hosting, right?
Gretsch, what do you say?
Yeah,
Gretsch
first
says
time.
Yes.
It's a man of many hats, that Paul Bird.
Never doubted him.
No. I was looking forward to it. He's done a great job, and he's done it Birdie style, right? He's not out there trying to be somebody he's not. He's being Paul Bird. It's been very entertaining. Nick Green came in before the game laughing at some of the stuff that Birdie was doing pregame. We didn't get to see it, but it sounds like it's been awesome.
I don't know if you saw, but on the bus ride home to the hotel for the ballpark last night, Greeny was watching the postgame, and he was just laughing
what he was laughing at?
The entire time at Birdie and Peter. It was adorable. He looked like a proud father.
Look at my boy all grown up.
1 for 2, Yaz. And an 0-2 count. He fouls off 97 from Kirby. Thing about that fastball too that I was talking with Tim Hires about. He said with his extension, how he releases that, it's really 100 to 101 for a lot of these hitters.
Yeah, he's a big guy, 6'4", but he looks way taller, right? He's all legs, so it allows some extra extension. It doesn't necessarily have the high ride to it, right? Those are the fastballs that'll tell you they get on you a little bit quicker, but he gets out there. Yeah, that last pitch, 6'9" on the extension. League average is about 6'4".
Called strike on the corner. Yes, thought about it, but the Braves only have one, and he's not going to challenge him. It is Birdie and Peter time. It's the stretch.
Welcome to the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Service, savings, sustainability. It's that simple.
Welcome into the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas, the place to be. My man, reliever Peter Moylan, I'm giving you the ball. Bryce Elder, what'd you like?
I loved everything about Bryce tonight. Obviously gave up the 2 runs early on in the game, but was able to bounce back. Few too many walks tonight from him, but I think we've seen a really good changeup. We've seen a couple of really good cutters to left-handed hitters. That 4-seam fastball to blow off a couple of doors off some hitters. That righty-righty changeup to Rodriguez to end the first inning was disgusting. I really love the fact that he's had to make adjustments today. There was a couple of misfires early in the game, but he's bounced back beautifully. 93 pitches through 6 innings. I'm not sure if he's done yet, but the 9 Ks by him, absolutely outstanding. We did a little breakdown earlier about what's made him different this year, and he just went out there and showed it. A perfect example. Do you want the ball back?
I have to have it back. I'm getting like uncomfortable without it. Yeah, anytime you strike out 9, Chris Sale is a hero. He's a number 1, but I feel like we have 2 number 1s. And with the Braves losing last night, it's nice to have somebody come back and be a stopper. Guys.
When it comes to natural gas in Georgia, G&G leads the league. We keep it simple with great rates that save you money. We even make it easy to reduce your carbon footprint with greener life. Sign up in minutes at gng.com. It's that simple.
I won here at T-Mobile Park. Braves and Mariners tied at 2. The Braves have gone to the bullpen, so Bryce Elder is done tonight. The expectation now is that Martin Perez will start tomorrow, unless he is used tonight as the long man. But guys, for Martin, it was a situation where I think Walt really wanted to find a way to keep him stretched out, give him opportunities to start. And with that in mind, Grant Holmes still expected to be in the rotation. Now the question will be, will he start Friday against the Dodgers, or will the Braves rearrange the rotation? The bottom line is, though, Walt Weiss and his group are trying to balance a few different things here. You don't want Martin to get deconditioned as a starter. You don't want to take Bryce Elder off that regular rest. You've got weapons like Chris Sale, who you want to make sure are getting in as often as possible. It feels a little bit like a balancing act.
It certainly is, and you have the extra off day to play with, right? Thursday's an off day going into that Dodger series. As we got a pinch hitter here, Rob Refschneider, to face Dylan Lee. And so, yes, it's always about trying to find days for Chris Sale. It makes sense. Martinez thrown the ball well. Why not try to keep him on track and help out? And you have some wiggle room here to play around a little bit. It's going to be a very tough opponent when we get down to Los Angeles.
Well, let's give Bryce Elder his flowers on his start tonight. 93 pitches at the 9 strikeout season high. Only gave up 2 hits. The last one was that Crawford homer back in the 3rd. But really good stuff from Bryce Elder. And now Dylan Lee taking the baton and striking out Refschneider.
Yeah, I get the idea for the Seattle Mariners. They say, hey, maybe we need to go ahead and throw a righty in here. You certainly don't want a lefty to have to deal with that Dylan Lee slider, but he is one of these guys that you don't worry about the splits with Dylan Lee because that slider is so good. Righties are hitting just .061 against him coming into this game.
Slider in there again. Cole Young, the batter.
By the way, a little tip of the hat to Braves historian Sam Wallace, who does such an excellent job in covering the Braves. It's a great follow on X if you don't do it. and you should. If you're listening to this broadcast, you should be following him. So I could only check to 1974. Drake Baldwin from 1974 on was the first catcher for the Braves to hit leadoff, but he wasn't the first to ever do it. Johnny Oates led off 17 times as a catcher for the Atlanta Braves. When? In 1973. So I missed it by a year as far back as I could look. So we certainly do appreciate that. We want to make sure that we get it right, and that's why we kind of threw that little 1974 out there. So very interesting. 2 home runs for Johnny Oates over that time, but never leading off the game.
Now Baldwin stepping into the leadoff spot as the catcher tonight for Atlanta after doing it last night as the DH.
And it's a really simple account to remember, at Braves Historian.
Even I can remember that. Batter Cole Young, a strikeout and a walk tonight, so yet to put the ball in play. Awaiting a 2-2 off the outside corner. Cole Young, this hitter, second year in the bigs, came up as a shortstop, but with J.P. Crawford locked in there, primarily playing second base. Down he goes. Dylan Lee. It's a slider. 2 down.
We knew last night the Braves bullpen had been a little bit taxed. It's nice to see when you feel like you're at full strength, including Raisel Iglesias returning to the active roster, and you see Dylan Lee with that great slider. And Young coming up empty.
So a pair of strikeouts. Now he'll look to strike out the side as he faces the catcher Mitch Garver. Two years ago, when the Braves lost here in all 3 to the Mariners, Garver had a walk-off homer off A.J. Minter in the 9th. That was a game that was so well pitched, similar to tonight, but even better. Max Fried and Bryce Miller both had no hitters into the 7th inning of that game. And the Braves were up 1-0 in the bottom of the 9th, and then Garver unfortunately hit the walk-off.
And there's that surprise changeup that you get once in a while from Dylan Lee, and it is a good one in a fastball count. Yeah, Mitch Garver selling out for that heater.
Got another change up there. And then the Mariners took 2 of 3 from the Braves in Atlanta last year. This is actually the team in the American League that the Braves have the worst record against since interleague play began back in '97. Let's see if the Braves can change that tonight. But right now they're 12-18 against Seattle. Payoff pitch. He strikes out the side. Gets 94 by Garver. Down they go in the 7th. First Refsnyder, then Young, then Garver.
Really well done here by Dylan Lee with the heater.
And a Braves baseball is brought to you by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. By Chevrolet, proud partner of the Atlanta Braves. And also by Xfinity, reliable Wi-Fi at one price. Xfinity, imagine that. How cool is that? Bainbridge Island, this is the sign. They were supporting J.R. Ritchie here last night as he made his 3rd big league start back in his hometown. And today our Sean Farnham and our producer Gretchen Caney took the ferry over to Bainbridge Island to get those shots, and they said wearing Braves gear, people were stopping them saying, oh, our guy J.R. Ritchie pitched last night. Yeah, we know, we were there, but really cool.
Oh, that is amazing. And you said basically once you leave Bainbridge, you can get to the ballpark in 37 minutes.
That's what it says on Google Maps when you factor in, taking your car, getting on the ferry, and then coming to the ballpark. Soup to nuts, it's about 35 minutes.
It's a great phrase.
Soup to nuts?
Yeah. I think I researched that one time, and it's kind of how a dinner would be done, right? Start with the soup, end with the nuts. We don't do that anymore.
We don't. Times have changed. But it was a cool moment yesterday for J.R. Ritchie.
There's got to be a restaurant named Soup to Nuts somewhere, right? Be a great restaurant name.
If not, I think you could start. That could be your sourdough business. Ferrer pitched an inning and a third last night, and they're bringing him out here again. And he strikes out Mateo looking.
Well, we know he's a pretty hard thrower, and it's mostly two-seam fastballs. That one at 97 miles an hour. It's the second best name I've ever come up for a restaurant, and I think I've thrown this out there. Anybody's welcome to take my barbecue restaurant name.
Go ahead.
Limp Brisket. I've been sitting on that one for a decade.
And you brought it out at 11:30 back on the East Coast.
Anybody who wants it can have it.
Limp Brisket.
Just get me one sandwich. That's all I want in return.
Were you a Limp Biscuit fan back in the day?
Yeah, of course. It's right in my era. Oh, and by the way, it's Limp Brisket. This is how we burn.
I think you got a couple of golden opportunities in front of you, partner. How about those numbers for Baldwin against lefties? Let's see if that trend continues. 0 for 3 tonight.
It almost seems too perfect. Now you can see it's a good arm. It's a tough arm, but you have a lefty who hits lefties well in Drake Baldwin. You have a lefty in Ferrer who has struggled against left-handed hitters. 351 batting average. Hasn't walked one all year, but they've hit him pretty well.
Ferrer ahead of Baldwin, 1-2, and he got him. Change up. So Ferrer out of the pen. 2 strikeouts to start the 8th.
Well, these bullpens off to a good start, right? They have faced 5 hitters between both the Braves and the Mariners, and it's been 5 punch-outs up to this point. We're talking about 2 bullpens that are in the top 4 when it comes to ERA coming into this series.
A lot of offense, a lot of loud contact last night. Tonight is more of a throwback T-Mobile Park game, a pitcher's duel, as that one got a piece of Garver. By the way, Canzone, Ref Snyder pinch hit. Now Canzone steps into that spot, so he'll bat 6th, and he's out in right field. Will Little giving Garver a little extra time. That rung his bell pretty good.
Now, these are not fun when you are behind the plate. The 2-piece mask, a lot of back and forth versus the hockey style and the 2-piece, and which one does a better job of keeping some of that vibration and impact away from your head.
Garver back and ready. 0-1 pitch to Ozzie. Reaches for it. Is there room? Yes. Naylor with a catch. It's been 2-2 since the top of the 4th. Been all tied since the 4th. Now we go to the bottom of the 8th. Here's a quick word from Delta.
From Braves country to the world. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
All right, so for the Braves, with Raisel Iglesias activated today. By the way, Naylor did get a new jersey. He's all clean on the top, not on the bottom. But he's
That's a mismatch.
That is a mismatch. But with the Braves getting Iglesias back, now you move Robert Suarez, CJ, here into the 8th inning.
And where it has been such a treat to be able to have him as an 8th inning guy. Dominant season so far here for Robert Suarez.
He got a gift there on the first pitch. He'll take it. (9-1-2) starting with Rivas. I have to give the hat tip to my father Bob, watching in Texas with my mom Linda. He texted me and said, "Son, I think Naylor changed his jersey."
Listen, this is a group effort. It takes a village to get these games done. I'd almost rather see him have the dirty top. That's really bothering me.
I know it is. I know it is. I like that it's bothering you. And thanks, Dad. Thanks for being more locked in than your son. There's no surprise there. 0-2. That one just missed.
Another tight game here. We mentioned it last night. The Seattle Mariners have played in the most one-run games in baseball so far, 14. The Braves with the second fewest at 5.
Deadlocked here in the 8th. Up and in. Did that hit his bat? I think it hit the handle. I think that should be a strikeout.
Let's see. Rivas is. Thought for 1 second there he might have been acting as if it hit him. Unfortunately, this is not reviewable. You're not wrong.
It did.
That's a bad miss in a big spot.
But as you said, you can't take a look at it. Harris coming in. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. Just an extra pitch for Suarez.
But I think it's an important point. I don't know why that's not reviewable.
Yeah. We were having that conversation, right, with Walt Weiss after the media scrum the other day. You were down there.
The Dubon play.
Yes.
Right, where he was hitting and they were going back and forth. Did he swing? Did the ball hit the dirt? None of those things had happened. And it was a bad break for Mauricio Dubon. And just one of those frustrating things. And we've gotten to the point now that instant replay, we're a few years deep into this, and it seems like, why not? Why shouldn't that be something that you can challenge? You can do it if it hits the batter. Why not if it hits his bat?
That hit Crawford's bat. Crawford is the last Mariner to have a hit in this game. It was his 2-run homer in the 3rd. Braves don't have a hit since the 5th. It's been all about the pitching. But he missed it.
A couple fastballs tonight that Robert Suarez has pulled, right? The one that went off the bat handle there of Rivas, and now that one inside to Crawford.
2-2, nowhere near. And now the payoff from the righty. He struck him out. Change-up, 2 down.
Almost looked like Crawford kind of backed off the plate a little bit, so that's going to make trying to get to this changeup even more difficult. An interesting 2 plate appearances here for Robert Suarez. He gets ahead 0-2 on both hitters, and then it gets worked to 3-2. But ultimately, he wins those battles.
13 strikeouts for Braves pitching tonight. Braves pitchers have also retired 12 straight, so the combination of Elder, Lee, and now Suarez doing a bang-up job tonight. But not an easy out at the plate. And Cal Raleigh got a weak swing from him.
3 straight 0-2.
See a swing like that, you going back to that pitch?
I would. I think especially since the fastball command hasn't quite felt right here early on. Not to say you can't throw the 4-seamer. If you do, for me, elevate it.
Yeah, there it is, but a little further out this time. Mariners winning last night 5-4. It's 2-2 right now at the bottom of the 8th with 2 down. Swing and a miss. Make it 14 strikeouts tonight for Braves pitching as Raleigh goes down swinging.
How about this bullpen so far? 5 strikeouts of the 6 hitters that they have faced.
And Olsen out to center field. There it is. Number 300. And one that Matt Olson will always remember. That was last night. Historic moment for Matt Olson. Wouldn't be a bad time for 301 with this game tied at 2 in the 9th. Zaxby's Who's Got the Sauce. The Braves so good on the road. All these numbers are the best in Major League Baseball.
And looking to add on right now. Now, the runs per game doesn't have to necessarily go up, but the win certainly would be nice. And an RBI extra base hit will take it all right now.
Munoz is on. He got the save last night, and he comes out here in the ninth in a 2-2 ball game. And his first pitch misses to Olsen. Sixth year in Seattle for this right-hander, all-star the last 2 seasons.
Did you run across that story on him about traveling with his cat?
I want to know about that story.
Yeah, he travels with his cat on the road, and you can see the paw prints on his glove.
Huh. That is something. That's a first. Well, closers can be a little quirky. 2-1 for Munoz. Olsen out to left center. Rodriguez is back. There's number 301. And what a time for it. The Braves now lead it in the ninth. Behind the power bat of Matt Olsen.
As humble of a superstar that we have in our game, and Matt Olsen coming up big again here. Perfect timing, as you mentioned, for number 301. Impressive against Munoz. This guy is nasty. And that is the first home run that he's allowed this year.
What an encore to number 300 last night. Matt Olsen has been hitting everything hard. That's homer 13 on the season, and it gives the Braves the lead.
And he did it against the money pitch for Munoz, which is his slider. That one, though, did not move very much. It almost acted like a little two-seamer, very little movement. Looked like it almost ran away. And Matt Olsen went with it. They can keep that one. We got the one back yesterday. You can have number 301.
You take 301. It's kind of the reverse of last night. The Braves got up 4-0. Mariners scored the last 5. Tonight the Mariners got up 2-0, and the Braves have scored the last 3. Leading the National League with the 13 round trippers. Not only that, but Matt has 28 extra base hits now. Coming into tonight, that's 7 more than anybody else in baseball. So impressive.
And that means we'll see the return of Raisel Iglesias in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Just activated today. Michael Harris gave it a decent ride, but Arozarena there. Another look at Matt Olsen's beautiful swing.
Again, you're doing it against one of the elite closers in the game, but a spinning slider that didn't do much at all. Matt Olsen ready for it. Stays back, right? Doesn't get too far out front, but still has that ability and the power to go to the opposite field.
Some animation in that dugout. Seen a lot of animation from that dugout this year. A lot of smiles. You can see how much fun these guys are having in 2026. And remember, the Braves still have that streak going. They have not lost a series this year. This is the 12th series of the season, so got to win tonight to try to win a series tomorrow and keep that streak going. Up and in, slider getting away from Munoz.
A couple now arm side, right? The one that Matt Olson hit was in the strike zone. That one Munoz spinning off and leaving it up and in to Mauricio Dubon. This will be interesting to see if the Braves can drive the pitch count up right now on Munoz, which make you feel pretty good about him not being available tomorrow.
This is inside. And Garver's going to go out and talk to him. And we bring you a quick message from Truist.
Leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist. Learn how knowledge and care can work for you.
Reading up on Matilda?
I am. Are you as well?
Yeah, I knew the story. He shared it with us. I think it was last year when I was doing radio. We had him on as a guest.
Yeah. So, and I will say for Munoz, it's a bit of a heartwarming story. He saved the cat from a bad situation in Mexico, but now 15 years old, white Persian cat Matilda that he travels with on all the road trips.
And I think his wife brings the cat on the road, right? Flies separately. That cat's not on the plane, if you're wondering. Is the cat on the team plane? No.
Austin Riley now. And Munoz even took Matilda to the MLB All-Star Game red carpet event last year in 2025.
So you think about leverage spots when it comes to ABS. The Braves are up by 1. There's a possibility of adding on, but do you want to save it for the bottom of the 9th inning for Iglesias in case there's any big misses in the bottom of the inning?
Each team has one, and remember, you can find that on the bottom right of your screen next to the team logos. Riley swings through the slider. 2 away.
Again, this is the money pitch and probably the best one that we've seen here, right? They were missing arm side, kind of spinning. He made the adjustment and threw a very good one there to Austin Riley.
Dom Smith DHing tonight, 0 for 3. Right side Iglesias ready for his return. He's going to have a tough assignment. Rodriguez, Naylor, Rosarena, 3, 4, 5 due up to face Iggy. He went 1 and 2. Matt Olson with a solo homer to start the 9th to give the Braves a lead. Now Munoz trying to keep it at 3-2. And he will. Iglesias will come on to try to get the final 3 outs and make Matt Olson the hero.
And why not? It has been such a great season. Matt Olson doing it one more time here for the Atlanta Braves, and they lead it by 1 as we'll go to the bottom of the 9th at T-Mobile Park.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Ford dealer. By the Georgia Lottery, a nice hit of cash with a new hit family of scratchers from the Georgia Lottery. And by Rooms to Go, shop a huge selection of beautiful rooms, all $999 or less. It's been a gorgeous night and a well-played game here in Seattle between the Braves and Mariners. Matt Olson with a homer to give the Braves a lead, and now back from the IL, right side Iglesias thrust into action. and will try to get the final 3 outs.
Would have been nice to have a little bit of cushion for Iggy that first game back, but you don't get to choose. And prior to going on the IL, he had been terrific with his 11 strikeouts and only 1 walk, no earned runs.
Starts with a strike right there on the edge to Rodriguez. 3, 4, 5 in the order for the Mariners. 0-2. Eli White replacing Michael Harris out in left field. Oh, 2 from Iggy. Line foul. So the Braves pitchers 14 strikeouts tonight. That matches a season high from against the Angels on the 7th of April, and now a chance at 15 here. One more pitch from Iggy. One, 2. Bouncing the changeup.
Yeah, overthrowing that one for sure. No doubt for Bryce Iglesias. You miss this kind of time. It doesn't matter how long you have been in the game. You get a high adrenaline moment on the road trying to close one out. You mentioned it yesterday. This place gets loud. And even though it's not a capacity crowd, a little bit more than 28,000, they make noise here.
Got him! Rodriguez swing and a miss. And for Braves pitching, 15 strikeouts, new season high.
Yeah, they're crushing it right now out of the bullpen. 6 of the 7 hitters that they have faced have gone down via the strikeout so far.
Josh Naylor now. A single in 3 trips. And a new jersey along the way.
The only spot in the lineup that hasn't struck out tonight is in the 9-hole, and Rivas did strike out because the ball hit his bat, and they didn't call it after Drake Baldwin caught that foul tip.
Soft little liner, and the tying run is aboard.
A change up here, and it sounded like it was off the end of the bat, and it wasn't hit particularly hard, just 76 miles an hour, but a base hit nonetheless here for Naylor.
Before that, Braves pitching had retired 14 straight. That streak is over, and here's Arozarena with a huge cut.
Yeah, this gets interesting too with Naylor. Again, he's not the quickest guy, but he is an efficient base stealer. Iggy has not allowed a stolen base so far this year, and it's a pretty important run.
Yes. Each team with a challenge, remember that. Fouled back over our head.
So you see how far that ball is off the plate. Randy Arozarena, we've already seen it in this series. He's got some chase in him, and as much as Iggy is great at filling up the strike zone, you take your chances, at least another pitch or two to get him to chase something outside of the strike zone.
Runner takes off for second, and Naylor's going to steal it easily and get that jersey dirty. And the tying run in scoring position.
He also picked a really good time to go and took a chance on that ball in the dirt, so that gave Drake Baldwin no chance to throw him out.
Foul ball on the 95-mile-per-hour heater.
So that's 2 foul balls that are pitches that are off the plate. Right, he's getting some pretty good coverage. The idea of standing him up, whether you're backing him off with something up and in or up over the plate, might be a good idea here.
Change up down. It's been a tremendous ball game, and you've got a power hitter to Arozarena and a great pitcher to Iglesias squaring off here in the 9th. Just enough to stay alive for Arozarena.
See this changeup out of the zone again. There goes Arozarena chasing something.
They chant his name, Randy, Randy. Swing and a miss. Slider gets Randy Arozarena. 2 down.
Raisel Iglesias has been incredibly selective with his slider. Remember, there was a problem at the beginning of the year last year, and it's only the second slider he has thrown this season. But he picked the right time to break it out, and that is an impressive chase. That ball was about 2.5 feet outside of the zone.
And now Canzone in his first plate appearance tonight. Swing and a miss for him at the changeup. Came in as a defensive replacement. 3 homers, 12 driven in on the season. Canzone was 1 for 2 last night with a single and a walk. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball. Ozzie has it. Braves win. They even the series in Seattle. 14-5 on the road this year for the Braves. And for the pitchers, it's a season high in strikeouts with 16.
What a game this one was. Bryce Elder was excellent in his 6 innings, and the way that you draw it up. The bullpen back to full strength tonight. They were awesome for their 3 innings, and Matt Olson with the heroics with another long ball.
That was the difference, and another come-from-behind victory for Atlanta. We'll be back to Seattle in just a moment.